Joining the conversation about this morning is Shireen Blackford. Shireen's son, Loic, was diagnosed with the disease just last year, and she has since founded the Loving Loic Foundation and is throwing her efforts into fundraising for this trial. Shireen, thank you so much for joining us on this Thursday morning.
Thank you for having me.
First off, how's your son Loic doing?
You know, he's doing pretty good. We're actually in Boston right now at Boston Children's following a DBS placement in his brain, which is a device that can help manage his dystonia a little bit better. So overall, he's handled it really well. I think he's tired of the doctor's appointments, but he's doing good.
Understandably tired of those appointments, yeah, but what a fighter. Walk us through the timeline of PKAN. Once a child is diagnosed, what happens then? What does treatment currently entail?
Yeah, right now there is no treatment. It's truly just palliative care. And so it's responding to the symptoms that they're experiencing, oftentimes with medications, things like benzodiazepines, sedating medications to try to manage the painful dystonia. And so it's really not great once you find out that you have it, because there are really no other options other than to just try to make them as comfortable as possible as the disease progresses.
And since this is the first time that I've heard about this, PKAN, is the progression of symptoms or the effect on the child, does that vary by child, or is it follow kind of a typical timeline?
It can vary child to child. It's a genetic mutation where he got 2 copies of bad genes from both my husband and I. And so depending on the version that you got, your symptoms can be a little bit different. However, there are generally 2 forms of it. Classic PKAN, which is a more progressive form, which is what he has. Most children don't live beyond the age of 10 when diagnosed with that version. And then there's another version called the atypical version, which sometimes presents later in life, often in adolescence, or sometimes even in their 20s or 30s. And it can be slower over that period of time that you see the symptoms onset.
Shireen, I want to talk to you about this clinical trial that we talked about in the introduction. What is this going to test for?
So this clinical trial is it's a cure. So our foundation has put together the 2 research hospitals to develop a gene therapy. And so what they're actually going to do is take a virus that places a good gene back into the body where he doesn't have one. And it's a one treatment and it's done. A lifetime cure after that.
Wow. And there's a fundraiser that's also happening too. Tell us about that.
Yes. So oftentimes in sporting events, it can be competitive. We noticed the rematch between the Patriots and the Seahawks was happening again. And we also have a tie with OHSU is one of our primary hospitals that's working on developing the gene therapy. And then UMass Chan Medical School in Boston is also manufacturing that vector and working with them as well. And so we thought, let's take this opportunity to bring the PATs and the 12s together to work on funding this and make sure that we can get this resolved for these children, because it shouldn't have to happen to them anymore.
Absolutely. Is there a way that people can donate who might be watching at home?
Yes, you can check out our website, go to lovingloic.org, or you can go to givebutter.com/biggame for PKAN.
If you could say one thing to parents of somebody who has a child that's gotten this devastating diagnosis, about what you've experienced and the hope that's being created because of the efforts to make this clinical trial happen, what would that be? What would that message say?
Keep looking for answers. And I think I was really mad initially when we got the genetic test results back, because I thought we had ruled out all of the bad things and I didn't know that something this awful could exist. But having known that and having had this time, I've been able to set up a treatment, a cure, and work towards a solution. And for those reasons, I think it's given us hope. Our communities have come together. I've found support and love from people that are complete strangers. And so because of that, I think we've made a really bad situation into something that is going to ultimately be good and be good for these kids.